The Drake Passage is known as one of the most perilous sea routes in the world, a route avoided by sailors for thousands of years. Many believe that the primary reason for constructing the Panama Canal was to provide a shorter route for connecting the eastern coast of the United States to South America and the rest of the world. While this is true, there was another significant reason behind the canal's construction: the need for ships to avoid the treacherous 620-mile stretch between Antarctica and Cape Horn. This is the point where the Pacific, Atlantic, and Southern Oceans converge, creating treacherous waters. But why is it called the Drake Passage? And what makes it so dangerous that even today passing through it feels like facing death? To understand, we need to travel back to the 15th century when Sir Francis Drake, a pirate backed by the British Empire, roamed the Atlantic Ocean. During a time when the British and Spanish empires were fighting for global dominance, Drake had the British Crown's support. With this backing, he raided African cities, captured their people as slaves, and brought them to Britain. Pleased with his actions, the British Empire assigned him a mission to challenge Spanish control in South America. The plan was for Drake to raid towns and villages along the South American coast, pass through the Strait of Magellan, and continue his raids along the western coast, expanding British influence. Drake embarked on this journey in December 1577 with 5 ships and 200 men. In April, as they reached Argentina, internal conflicts arose among his crew. To maintain order, Drake executed around 40 of his men who were causing dissent and left 2 ships behind, continuing with 3. Crossing the Strait of Magellan into the Pacific Ocean, they encountered a violent storm, and the 3 ships got separated. One ship, believing Drake to be dead, returned to England, while another veered off course into what is now known as the Drake Passage, disappearing forever. Chasing this ship, Drake arrived at the shores of the passage but quickly realized the lethal dangers posed by these waters and turned back. Back then, no one knew what lay beyond this point, as the world map was not yet fully charted. Drake shared with his closest crew members that he suspected there might be another world or uncharted land across these deadly waters. What he thought might be an island was actually Antarctica. For centuries, people speculated about a southern continent, which ancient Greeks referred to as Terra Australis Incognita, or the unknown southern land. However, no one had actually seen it. In the 17th century, the British explorer Captain Cook embarked on an expedition to find this southern continent. Sailing deep into the Southern Ocean, he failed to sight Antarctica and narrowly escaped the Drake Passage after being trapped by its turbulent waters. Cook, regarded as one of the greatest explorers of his time and credited with discovering New Zealand, wrote in his journals that discovering this southern continent was such a dangerous pursuit that it was unlikely anyone would venture there again. But human curiosity persisted. In 1914, the famous British explorer Ernest Shackleton set out to explore Antarctica. Upon reaching the Drake Passage, massive waves pushed his ship into icy waters, destroying it. Shackleton left some crew members on the ice and, with a few men, set out in a small lifeboat, hoping to reach an island for help. After a month at sea, he finally reached South Georgia Island, calling the journey the worst and most dangerous part of the world's oceans. Years later, in 2012, Brazilian businessman João Lara attempted to cross the passage in a luxury yacht to film a documentary. He and his crew faced a sudden storm with 100-foot waves that threw their ship onto Antarctic ice. Although their radio still worked, it took Chilean rescue teams 4 days to reach them due to the harsh weather, and they were rescued only with great difficulty. Despite advancements in technology, the dangers of the Drake Passage remain. Strong currents, 60 to 80-foot waves, and extreme temperature shifts create deadly conditions. The passage lies in a remote area. Antarctica lies to the south, an uninhabited landmass, while the stormy seas stretch northward. If disaster strikes here, there's little chance of help. The Panama Canal later became the preferred route for commercial ships traveling between North and South America, making the Drake Passage nearly obsolete. However, the passage might see increased traffic once again, as the future of the Panama Canal is under threat. The Drake Passage remains one of the world's no-go zones, a reminder that no matter how advanced our technology becomes, nature's power can still challenge us just as it did centuries